Oh, hello there again, friends and family. So glad to see you here on the property. Yeah, it's been a while. Well, I think it was yesterday when we did that crab salad together, which was yummy, I might say. But what we're doing today, and this is by popular demand because you've asked for it, some have asked when I read through the comments to show you more about foraging and wild edibles, which I sort of tend to, stay away from. Because if you make a mistake, it can lead to some, minor complications to major ones, like stomach upset, gastrointestinal cramps, or even worse, seizures and death. So, like I always say, just don't rely on old Mr. Tom's videos showing you this, but get with a local expert in your local area. I can't stress that enough. But since you've asked, and since I have a perfect specimen of what we're going to be talking about today, I figured, hey, it's a beautiful day, pretty much bright blue sky, about 74, and that on a quiet Sunday. Let's take a look at a very beneficial plant, one I've used many times, especially when I've been poorer than the dirt I'm standing on now. And you might wonder just what that plant is. And what I'm going to be showing you today, and what we're going to be talking about, is wild lettuce. Yeah, there is such a thing. And no, it don't look too much like the lettuce we buy in the grocery store. Don't look nothing like that iceberg or that romaine. But it does sort of kind of look like a few other greens. And we'll be talking about that. But it is edible, especially in its younger, earlier stages, and it is quite medicinal as a sedative and a painkiller. Though I must say, once you watch this video and you look up wild lettuce, especially here on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of old claims that are a little bit exaggerated. I think that might be for clicks and views, but let me explain. So let's go over here. Since, like I said, I have a prime example of one of the species that we find here in the South. And there's actually 3 different species that grow predominantly in the eastern U.S., along the eastern seaboard, the eastern part of the country, southeast, southwest. Well, basically, wild lettuce grows some variety all over the world. Well, let me show you this, okay? And we'll talk a little bit, just in case there comes a time when you need it in your life. So yeah, we're heading on over here. And we're going to take a look at something. Let me see if I can find it again. Yes, I can. Yep. It's right here. This is a good example. And this is at one of the stages of growth. Now I'll show you another example in a minute. Now, what is this? This is wild lettuce. And it's easily identifiable. But some people can make a mistake. And that's why I'm a little leery to show y'all things. But what we're going to do is we're going to pluck off a leaf here, because this is in what's called the rosette stage. It hasn't shot up the center stalk yet. And you're going to see right here how the leaves are. You see? They're across from each other. And that. But something you're going to see is right there along the center rib. You're going to see these fine hairs. And if you run your finger down across them, they're not going to stick you, but you'll definitely feel them. They feel like bristles almost. Can you see those? And then another telltale sign that this is actually wild lettuce. Did you see that sap coming out? Now, wild lettuce will have a sap that will be white to cream colored to even beige. Yeah, as you can see coming out there. And it is edible. But as the leaves get older and the season continues, they tend to get rather bitter. Yeah. Now, if you're wanting greens, think about these being similar to arugula, which is sort of bitter and spicy. Well, these have got the bitter covered. So they are edible, but if you get them new, and we'll just come on down here to this nice new one. If you look at it real closely, it almost resembles a dandelion. Yeah, except the dandelion won't have the spines or the little bristles along the center stem. No. And if I can find one, I'll show you one. But this is edible and quite delicious. Where this larger leaf may be bitter. But in times of my life when I've had to forage and come up with some fresh greens, because these can grow in the wintertime here in the deep south. And if not, they'll come up in the very early spring when temperatures just start to warm. They'll be one of the first greens to come out. Now, if you're out here like now, which this is it's starting to be the end of April, April 23rd, they're rather bitter. But what I found, you can harvest a mess of these, boil them down in some water, throw that water out, add some more, boil them again. Give them a taste. If they're still got that bitterness, throw that water out and do it a third time. And they'll be just fine. Yeah. When they get older and further in the season, it's best to cook them. When they're nice, fresh, and young as this, right here, well, you can eat them in a salad. And that'll be during the warmer parts of winter here in the deep south or in the very early spring. As always, I got my faithful kitty crew backing me up. They're right behind me. Of course, they're cleaning at the moment. That's Spooky there cleaning up. And that's Speedy there. You can tell. She's rather skittish. But you know, like always, I always have a taste test. I'm not going to tell you something and not taste it in front of you. And I always tell you, watch my facial expression. Because I'm going to tell you what, if something you putting in your mouth ain't so yummy, or it's real bitter, very spicy, or what have you, you're going to catch it. But this is a nice tender leaf from that wild lettuce. You saw me pick it off. Let's give it a go, okay? I do this for all of you, my friends and family. Yep. That's just fine. If you've had romaine, I would compare that to romaine lettuce. I really would. No joke. Rather tasty. But, you know, we also have to try the older leaf, right? You're probably thinking, well, what about those older leaves, Mr. Tom? Let's go back and grab the one we plucked off, okay? Here's the older one that we plucked off. Nice, big. It's already getting a little limp since we plucked it. Well, about 10 minutes ago. Let's give it a taste test and see if it's any different. Well, in all true, and since this is April, It's a little bit more, I mean just ever so slightly bitter. But I've got to admit, not bad. I could take this. I got some iceberg left. I could take some of these, and I might do it tonight. Because I'm really wanting some fresh greens. You know, go with that crab salad. You know, I'm thinking about making a salad. You know, with what I got left of that iceberg. Some of this wild lettuce chopped all up. Throw that in, mix up that, you know, like a lettuce, you know, blend. You know, where they got that arugula, the iceberg, bib, romaine. You know what I'm talking about. And then mixing up some of that crab salad in. Hey, maybe I could throw on some of that there shredded cheese too. Maybe some black olives. Woo! We're talking dinner salad now. Yep. This hasn't got hardly bitter at all. But this particular variety is more commonly known as prickly leaf lettuce. Yeah, or prickly lettuce. But it does have some medicinal qualities as well. But before we get into the medicinal part, the sedative, anti-anxiety, and pain-killing benefits, let me show you a little bit more about how to identify wild lettuce, okay? That's pretty darn tasty. I'm coming back for you later. We got salad for tonight. Yeah. Let's head up here. Well, I got an even better example, okay? Hold on, it ain't gonna take long. Okay, we're heading on up here into the place where we haven't mowed yet. And I'm thankful that I haven't yet, because there's a lot of food here. You know, with them food prices. And right here, look at this. Prime example of prickly leaf wild lettuce. Yep. It's already throwed up a stalk. Probably be blooming soon. And you can see the little hairs, little spines, right there on that center rib. And you can see the leaves right there. And you're going to see that little splotchiness of purple. Yeah, it's not on the back side of the center stem. It's on the front side. And another characteristic is this purple stalk. You see that purple in the center stems? But this purple stalk, I found, is the easiest indicator of prickly leaf wild lettuce. Not to mention the spines. And if we look way down here where we plucked that leaf off, you can see that sap, that latex sap right there. That light cream to beige colored sap oozing out. Yeah, that's the ticket right there. And that's actually what gives it its pain-killing properties. Yeah. You'll find here on YouTube and other social media outlets, blog sites, websites, and what have you, they may call this opium lettuce, or you might see it titled legal opium. Well, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. You see, there's no opium in wild lettuce. I'd call them a liar to their face if they're standing right here. Of course, they know that. What's in these is a substance or compound called lactoserin. Yeah, and lactocoposarin. Yeah, and it has mild opium-like properties, but it's not opium. Now, the thing there is, during the extraction process and that, which is you use alcohol, you take this whole plant, chop it all up, you can dehydrate it first, which is one method, then you put it in like 190 proof alcohol, alcohol extraction, and that, extracts the vital pain killing and sedative properties out of the plant. Then once you've let this plant sit in that for several days, then you strain it out, then you boil it down. So it basically is a thick, gooey syrup. Then you dry that in a dehydrator. And in effect, it does look like opium at that point. Now, with that said, is it a painkiller? Well, yeah. Is it a sedative? Yes. But back over history, since about the 1800s, it's been used as a sedative, as a sleep aid. It's been used to cure whooping cough, menstrual cramps, and the such. It's like for a sleep aid. You're having a problem sleeping. Once you do that extraction, alcohol extraction, then once you dry it, and you've got this, it's a gooey ball. Yeah, you save that. And you can mix that with even a little bit of more alcohol, fill up an eyedropper bottle, and you put, 4 to 5 to 6 drops in about 4 ounces of water. Drink that down an hour or two before bedtime, and it'll help you get to sleep. And it all gets down to dosages. To get more of the pain-killing benefits, you gotta take higher dosages. And I'm not gonna go all into that, but it's anywhere from 15 to 30 milligrams of the alcohol extracted lactosarin and lactocoposarin per kilogram of body weight. See, for my weight, 165 pounds, that means I'd have to consume 825 milligrams of the extraction to gain a significant pain-killing effect. Yeah. Now, I guess if you ate even more, some report that it could have some psychedelic properties. But in my uses of this, in all truth, I've never had flashbacks, or I've never seen Jesus. I'm just saying. So I think a lot of that is hyped up. But yeah, you can see the purple stem. You see the purple on the center stem of the leaves. Another thing to note is your leaves alternate. You see, here's one, and here's one, here's one, and here's one. They go back and forth. That's another key characteristic, along with the purple shaft, the purple center veins on the front side, and on the back side, you got the little bitty spines or hairs. And they won't poke you, but you can feel them. They're like bristles. So it's both edible, and you can see right here from this specimen, there's a pile of greens there. And that stem's just chock full of that lactose. If you're wanting to make a mild sedative and painkiller, trust me, it is. We got another one right here. See, they're everywhere up and through here. And like I said, there's been times in my life, and I had a rough patch about mid-90s. I won't go into the reason why, Well, yeah, money was low. Yep, I had to pinch every penny till it screamed and ran away. And I went without a lot of things. And there were times during that period where if I wanted such things like fresh greens, you know, 'cause you need to be eating your greens. We all know, especially as we get older, what happens when you don't keep that fiber up. Now, I ain't gonna go into all the specifics, but you know. Yep, let us just say, things don't move as well as they should. So, yeah, I'd go out foraging. And I would find my edibles. Yes, I would. And I'd bring them in, and I'd process them. I've been studying wild herbs and edibles, Chinese medicine, herbs, ever since, in great depth, since 1989. And that's one of the things I do now. You know, I watch videos, and I see a lot of misinformation and a lot of exaggeration. And wild lettuce, that's definitely one that's blown up far too many times out of proportion. And I don't think that's a healthy thing, especially for the kids or anybody else. Let me tell you what, if this had true opium-like properties, which I can tell you it don't, they're fairly mild, then the government would come out just like they do with alcohol. In most states, some states you still cannot make your own alcohol. In other states you can only make so much for personal consumption. So if indeed this had the same properties as you got from an opium poppy, oh, there'd be laws to regulate it and restrict it, and they're not. That's why you'll see videos here on YouTube that say legal opium. Yeah. And like all things, when you're trying to, you know, hype things up, you know, sensationalize, you know, put the Inquirer format on it, you know, you all remember the Inquirer. Well, that hype, speculation, and out of context reporting is alive and well. Not only in mainstream media, but social media. Yeah, and that's why I encourage all of you to, you know, read the links, click the link, read the articles that I provide below these such informative videos. Yeah, it takes, you know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes if you read slow on each one. But it gives you a whole lot of background and a whole lot more information. And then as always, especially when we're dealing with wild edibles and medicinals, get with a local expert. Yeah, make sure he's a local expert, not some YouTube wizard. And go out with him. Go out where you can put your hands on it. See it in the wild. Plus, you'll have a wonderful day. Yes, you will. You'll be out there like I am, with the birds behind you, singing you a song. Yeah, the breeze blowing your hair and cooling your life. Yeah, you'll be enjoying the natural rhythms of life. But now is the time to learn these things, because trying to figure it out when you need it, when you're hungry, or when you're hurting, will cause you to make mistakes. And even though there are you've really got to try to misidentify this. If you go with the spines, the alternating leaves, the color of the stalk, and not all varieties of wild lettuce have the purple stalk, but they all have the spines on the center rib, and they all secrete lactose. So as long as you stay with those three, and if you want to dig one up, there's a fourth. The tap roots will be white to light brown. So there's your 4. You can't go by the flowers, because depending on the variety or the species, they can have anywhere from white to yellow to even lightly red flowers. So you can get that all messed up. One of the most common misidentifiers, and I think I have some up here. We'll head on up here in my own personal jungle. Yep, it's right here. This is sow thistle. It's got a yellow blossom, but like I said, the wild lettuce can have a yellow blossom. Let's look at this leaf. You see how it looks? Now let me put the two together, and this is going to be a little hard. Maybe you'll be able to see it well enough. You see the two leaves? You see the two leaves? They're fairly similar. But what you're not going to see on the old sow thistle is you're not going to see any spines along the back. No spines. Now, is this edible? Will it make you sick? No. But it's not going to put you to sleep or help you with that toothache, okay? So it's a look-alike. And there's several others. Dandelion's one of them. Whew, there's one of our southern favorites just coming up. Poke salad, poke weed. Ooh, and that's right now, that's choice right there. Of course, you know, here again, I've ate poke salad. Especially back during that, 95, first part of it. Winter of 94. Spring of 95. Things got better after that. Really better. But you got to boil this about 3 times too. Or at the very least, it'll make you wish you hadn't ate it. People love it. And we have like a poke salad festival in certain areas of Alabama. And I think other southern states. Now see, the problem with finding some dandelion right now, of course, you know, they've quit flowering. You know, and they're low to the ground. And this is a jungle right now. But you know what? There's another way to look at it. It's got wildflowers of every type. It's got wild food throughout it. Dewberries, wild greens. Oh, there's roots down there too you can eat. Oh, see here? Here is the remnants of a dandelion. Let's see if we can find a leaf down in here. I don't know. Yep, we're gonna get one. Look at there. That looks awful similar to the wild lettuce, don't it? But if you look real closely, no spines. Nope. That's dandelion. Of course, it's a dead giveaway. And those little poofy things on the blossom. Yeah. This makes for fine salad too. Well, here's another one. Much better. Very similar leaf, but no spines. Yep. Oh, I got me 2 leaves. And I don't like to destroy my dandelions. Because once upon a time, back when I cared about a yard, being all manicured and lovely and uniform, I spent extra time eradicating these to the point where I didn't have no more. Now, I know that was a mistake, and I wish I hadn't. So now I tend to leave these alone They're like a protected species in my yard because they're edible, fine green, one of the first ones you're going to be able to enjoy in the very early spring here in the deep south, late winter to early spring. Yeah. And I love them. My grandparents and great-grandparents up in Pennsylvania loved them even more. Because even before the snow would melt on the north sides of the mountain slopes, they'd send us youngins out to scour for the first dandelions of spring. Because that would be the first fresh greens we would have had. Very first. Because here again, we're getting back to the 50s and 60s. When you just didn't run to the grocery store in places like the mountains of Pennsylvania and grab you a head of iceberg. And God knows they never had romaine. Whew. But there you have it. That's wild lettuce, which I have plenty of. But hey, I plucked these 2 dandelions. Can't let them go to waste, right? Nope. Yeah. Those were some nice ones. Yeah, they're getting a little bit long in the tooth. A little bit of that more astringent, bitter quality is coming through. But still tasty. And I'm thinking, real healthy. I need to increase my own fiber, come to think of it. But I got a lot of that wild lettuce. And if I didn't have a pile of aspirin stocked up, you know, for the events of 2020, in case the world came to an end, or Tylenol, ibuprofen, and I was extremely tight on money, I'd be out here snipping this off, throwing it in my blender. Yeah. I'd go get me some of that there pure grain alcohol. You see, you need high alcohol content, preferably around 190 proof, 150 to 190. You know, not rubbing alcohol, by the way, or wood alcohol. You need grain alcohol, you know, the drinking kind, and use that. But in the description below this video, I'll leave you a link to a site. They'll give you some nice pictures. It'll help you identify. He also has a video on there. Extraction process in case you want to make up your own all natural sleep aid, sedative, or mild pain reliever. Yeah. And then I'll leave you a link from Healthline on some of the benefits of wild lettuce. You see, the difference between me and a lot of people that sensationalize things on YouTube, they don't give sources, they don't give links, they just tell you this crap and they go on. You know, I often think, I don't understand why my videos don't get the views theirs get. I back up everything I say, or I just keep my mouth shut. But as you can see, there's plenty of the prickly wild lettuce here. Here's another fine specimen. Now I can already tell you, we're going to be consuming some leaves tonight in our dinner salad with our crab salad. You know, Southern style Creole crab salad. Yeah. So we'll be getting the protein, the fatty omega-3 acids. We'll be getting the vitamin B12 and selenium, along with all the vitamins, minerals, and fiber. of the prickly leaf wild lettuce. All off my little half-acre of paradise here in the deep south of Alabama. So y'all, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Since I had some fine specimens. And like I say, I'll leave a couple of links below in the description below the video. And I encourage you, as always, to take a few minutes in your life to click on them, read down through them. It never takes more than about 5 or 10 minutes. And then, maybe, if you're an all-natural type of person, tired of taking all those prescriptions and everything and over-the-counters, you'll get with a local expert. You'll go out here, pack you a lunch. Yeah. Enjoy the day. Discovering natural and wild edibles that may even be in your yard too. So hey, until the kitty crew, you know them all. Spooky, Speedy, Cleo, old Mr. Gray, which is right here close with me. And I'm sure the others aren't far. And my little Princess Gracie. See you on that next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And God bless you as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Buddy, what you doing there? You hanging? My old buddy. Yep, it's getting close to chow time, ain't it? Well, you know it's Sunday. No, you don't gotta eat wild lettuce, bud. For you tonight, we're talking tuna. Okay? No? You want chicken? Okay. Canned chicken it'll be. Yeah. I think the others will like that as well. Well, I better go put y'all up and grab their bowl. Start cracking some cans of Tyson canned chicken. Later, all.